Tennessee River and a mountain man. We get together every time we can. Oh, Tennessee River and a mountain man. We play together in Mother Nature's band. Walking hand in hand.
All right, guys, as you can see, we are got to get things packed up, get ready to go to Dale Hollow Lake for a week. Where we're going to be staying is right here, which is the Sunset Marina Resort. That's where we'll be putting in at, and then we're going to go down about 3 hours before the rest of the group, and we're going to cruise through these areas. We're thinking we're going to be staying at Cove Creek Rec Area, right in here somewhere. We're going out of a new marina. We usually have gone out of Sulphur Creek right here, or Hendricks Creek. Sorry about that. Right there. And we've always stayed right in here in Palsy Creek in this area. But obviously you can see it's quite a ways all the way down to the other end of the lake to the Sunset Marina and Resort. So that's where we rented our boats. We're going to be on them for a week. So what we got to do tonight is get everything out of the kayak, get it cleaned up. I got a bag to put it in, get all of our gear. As you can see, these spinner baits right here, I did pick up some new spinner baits. I think they're going to be good to throw in shallow water. I'll give you a breakdown once we get the rods and tackle picked out. But our goal right now is to get the kayak broken down, get it cleaned up, get things stored, and get it ready to put onto the pontoon so it can travel down to Tennessee. So I'm going to take you along with us on the ride down and packing and unpacking. So this will be the first time for me kayak fishing on Dale Hollow. I've been on Dale Hollow multiple times, multiple houseboat trips. So first time getting things packed up and taking the kayak. To say the least, I am fired up to be able to spend 6 days in the kayak fishing for smallmouth, largemouth, striper, whatever wants to bite. That's what I'm looking for. So all right, guys, stay with us, and we'll be back with you next. All right, well, we got the Bubba scale charging up. Busy week for that. An aqua battery, got that getting charged. That right there runs my fish finder for usually up to about 40 hours. If you haven't looked at aqua batteries, they are amazing. I know guys that run their fish finders off them and their lights. So we got the seat, we got landing net, we got a tote, and we're starting to put stuff in. The kayak is sprayed down, kind of soaking right now, getting all the blood and mud out. There's the cover we are going to use for travel. We got a paddle, some other miscellaneous items. But need to get moving here, get the Manta ready to go down the road. So now we got her sprayed down with the 303 cleaner. So that's a box of loose screws, nuts, bolts, everything that's left over. Wacky rig. We got all kinds of line. There's your cleaner. There's the Cast King bag that most of this stuff's going to end up in. Black pack. It's loaded to the gills. We'll get that put in the pontoon also. There's some boots, rain gear, water shoes, pliers. Got some hats, some extra baits. New fillet knife from winning the Lose prize 1 month. We picked up that fillet knife. Hopefully have shore lunch. I ended up taking the bungee cord out of here. So I got 4 holes. And I forgot to attach those. So I'm going to use some denatured alcohol. Wipe those down. I've got some gray caulk. I'm going to put that in there. But I'm also, this is where my water bottle sits. It keeps rolling under my seat. So I'm gonna get some 3/4 inch foam and I'm gonna glue it to this edge so my water bottle stays put there. But I'm gonna wipe everything down with the denatured alcohol before I apply the sealant and the foam to my water bottle. Alright guys, this is what I'm gonna take with me, but it usually stays here in the barn, but I call it my crash kit. I got caulk in here, extra rails, extra scuppers. I got an extra mount for my fish finder, screwdriver. Sorry about that air compressor. Tethers. Like I said, a little bit of everything. And then I already put it away, but I have a box that's in my Cast King bag here. Down at the bottom. Right there's all kinds of screws, fasteners, washers, anything that's been left over from anything I've mounted or any screws that I've purchased. There's bobber stops, O-rings for wacky rig, some sweet beavers, Yamamoto grubs, got my line stripper, got all kinds of lines, some extra soft rubber. We got a Ted right there. Hello Ted. So what we're going to do is we have this color match caulk. It's a gray. I just take it. It's nice in these little tubes because you can reuse it over and over. Because you can just squeeze it out and that way you have it accessible. But I noticed some water in the kayak. I had to replace one of the yellow baffles in there. And I couldn't figure out where the water got in, but I forgot I removed those bungee cords the other day. I don't use them for anything, so I took them off so they weren't underneath my box just sliding around. What I'll do is I'll patch these like I am, let it set up for about half hour, then come back and clean up the edges. But any hole that you put in your kayak, either whether you're putting a fastener back in it or not, you definitely want to fill those holes. Any place that water can get in, it will. So put it on a little aggressive, then once it gets a little body to it, like I said, we'll come back and clean it up. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of styrofoam, get some spray glue, and get that foam on there for that water bottle. So right here will be our next little project before we head to Dale Hollow Lake. Stay with me. I'll be right back, guys. This is actually foam for insulating ductwork that got damaged at work and you guys weren't using it, so they're going to throw it in the dumpster, and I grabbed it and brought it home. Put some of it on top of the golf cart so the fishing poles don't bounce around. You got to have a razor sharp knife to get a nice clean cut on this product. Most of the guys that you see out in the field doing the ductwork insulation, they have fillet knives for fishing. And that's what they cut with. Or they'll have knives out of a butcher block. They're constantly looking online and real estate auctions, trying to find old Chicago cutlery knives because they hold a good edge and that's what they like to use. So there's our piece. It's way too long, but I knew that cutting it. Put this back on so Mr. Douglas don't step on it. So here's our piece. We'll measure that for length. Actually, we can just go set it on the kayak. I want to see how the water bottle does. plan is to put it about right in here. See if I can keep that water bottle from going over that edge. It slides over the edge and then it's underneath my seat. And I can't find it, so. Let me grab that water bottle and see if that's going to be wide enough. One thing you definitely want to have with you all the time, ice cold water. So I think this thing's like at least 40 ounces, if not more. Yeah, 40 ounces. So I thought if I put that foam on there, that would help keep that dude right in place. It looks like I'm going to need to put it right on this edge right here. So, alright. Get back to you guys. I got a little work to do. Alright guys, we got this one's a clear silicone. So we're gonna just put that clear silicone. We've already cleaned both surfaces with denatured alcohol. We're just gonna set this on here. We'll let that dry overnight. You'll see it comes out white out of the tube, but it dries clear, so try and sneak it out just on the edge, as far as we can sneak it out. Clean that up a little bit, but we can always get it tomorrow. Nice thing about clear silicone, it can peel right off if you need it to. Alright, let me grab a rag, clean my hands off. Alright, so you guys that watch my videos, I just pretty much take you along on what I'm doing. Hunting, fishing, if I'm working on a kayak, putting up a tree stand, tracking a deer. You just kind of ride along with them. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Alright. Been wanting to do that for about 6 months, and one of those things you're gonna do and never get around to, so definitely gonna need water with us down there in Tennessee. Gotta stay hydrated or you'll pay for it the next day. So, alright, we are going to check and see how we're doing on the Naqua battery charging. That's from my fish finder. And then I got the Bubba scale charging too. I want to make sure everything's charged up and ready to go when we get there. Alright, looks like the Naqua battery is charged up completely. Bubba battery is still going. So I ended up installing my fish finder right there and installed it in the hull. Take this little basket out. My transducer is right there in the bottom, so it makes it very convenient. Didn't have to drill any holes in the bottom of my kayak. I don't like that arm that sticks out that some people do. That's just personal preference. So I'm going to put the battery in there. I'm not going to hook it up yet. Somewhere there's a pull handle. Pull handle goes in this storage container too, in case I got to drag it anywhere to do with the boat ramp or getting some shallow water. I ended up putting a little duct tape around this basket. As you can see, it fits very tight. I've had it go down in the bottom of the kayak a couple times, so I improvised and wrapped duct tape around it about 4 times to make the basket thicker and to make it a little more rigid. It did crack. I have an extra one over there. Lifetime sent me one at no charge, but right now we're getting by with what we got. So that is about a 95% waterproof compartment. So the battery is good to go. We do have the kayak all cleaned up at this point. Put our caulk away, put our rubbing alcohol away, give those a few more minutes. We're gonna let things dry, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip the whole kayak into this cover and zip it, and then I'm going to put it on the pontoon in the middle of the seats and strap it down. I am gonna probably throw like my life jackets in there, my morning cover, maybe my catch board, but that's going to be about it. So there'll be a few light things in there. Then obviously you see we have this tote. We got it full of water shoes. There's my rain suit, some of my boxes. I do have to go through and see what rods I'm taking and what baits I'm going to put on them. I know in my head, I just got to get that done. So alright guys, well, it's been about a half hour. So the sealant has set up on my holes. So I went back and took a wet rag and cleaned up around those. Taking some different options as far as headgear goes. Probably take another hat or two, but I like having a visor for the super hot days, and obviously a white hat and then dark hat. I got so many hats, and I got a couple more coming, but I like taking a few options for hats. So we got the Cast King bag full, we got the trash kit full, we got the Yak Attack box, and the storage container. So all we got left to do now again is sort out the rods and reels. The Bubba scale is charging. Get the cover on. I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow on that. Let that caulk for my water bottle dry up, but right now, and I think I'm going to put them in the seat under the pontoon, the catch board and the paddle. So the kayak will be traveling pretty much empty. So I did take off, I run chains on here for my anchor. I have 3 different chains. They weigh a pound and a half a piece. So depending on what the weather is going to do, if it's going to be pretty calm, I take 1 piece of chain. If it's going to be windy, I take 3 pieces of chain. I started out with an anchor. I think it was 5 or 7 pounds, and I was just dragging that thing everywhere half the time for no reason. So that's when I switched to the log chain, which for me has worked out really well. So I'll get some rods and reels sorted out here, and I'll get back with you guys, see what we're gonna take with us down to Dale Hollow Lake in Tennessee. We're gonna be chasing smallmouth, largemouth, striper, and anything else that wants to bite. Alright guys, we'll give you a little rundown of what's on the deck here. Definitely crankbait, flat bill. That's on the Kevin Van Dam rod, 12-pound mono. We got the speed worm that we just did a video on. So he's on 12-pound mono. Buzzbait, Kevin Van Dam rod, 60-pound braid. We got the Menace grub for pitching into lily pads and grass, stumps, anything like that. He's also on 60-pound braid. And then we got chatterbait. That's on 17-pound mono. So there's our starting lineup. I'll show you the next round here. Alright guys, here's round 2. Open face. We got 15-pound braid with a 12-pound mono leader with the wacky rig. Same thing on the line, rod and leader with the Ned rig. Then we got 60-pound braid for the frog. Again, actually that's 15-pound braid with Chapo. I've never really thrown those, but I've seen 2 or 3 videos, guys down at Dale Hollow throwing those along structure, along rock banks, and getting some good topwater action. And then over here on 17-pound mono, we have a swim bait. I really haven't thrown those much, so that's something I might play around with. So that's our second round of rods. I do have a couple more over there that I might take just as backups, but you can see I'm going loaded for bear. I'll be there for 6 days. I'm not sure what they're going to be biting, so I definitely want to have some options. You got it, take it. So that's what we got on deck. You never know when we get there what we're going to change to, what we're going to use, what's going to be a success. So one thing I do like is the rod sleeves when I'm traveling. Keeps the baits out of the seats, keeps them from getting tangled, keeps them from getting in my dogs. So they're pretty inexpensive depending on which ones. I like those. They're snag proof. It keeps the line and the bait protected for the most part. So all right guys, well our plans for tonight didn't go as I had hoped. It did and it didn't. I got a order for some fish structures. This is one of 3 types of structures I build. These are for crappie. What you have is geothermal piping, and then I take a marine screw and I screw them together, and then 2 of the tubes you'll see that I filled them with sand, and then I plastic weld the top shut. I drill 3/4 inch holes in all the tubes that don't have sand in them, so fry, minnows, crawdads, bugs, whatever can go in there. These are kind of a weird style for the crappie. They average anywhere from 2 to 4 feet tall, so it kind of looks like an underground or underwater tree. But the nice thing about them, like I said, they're geothermal piping, which is meant to be underground. They have play sand in them. They have marine screws and zip ties. So had a customer that had ordered before that wanted 6 more, so I end up making those tonight, and I will deliver those to him tomorrow. That tied up most of my night. I did end up getting the kayak over here, got all my rods on the kayak. I think I'm going to wait till either tomorrow night or Thursday night to throw the kayak in the pontoon and my rods. So got some new decals today. Figured we'd try Dale Hollow Lake with a little red, white, and blue since we're 250 years in. So other than that, nothing much has changed. I do have one of my rods that I have for sale. That's selling tomorrow, so I'll meet him and drop it off. I did pick up a pressure washer, a DeWalt pressure washer. It's kind of slick. You put the battery in it, and then you drop the hose in the lake, and then you can use the pressure washer. So that'll be nice for the kayak, the pontoon, and anything else next week that we need to keep clean. You get a lot of shale, a lot of sand on stuff. So like I said, I didn't get done exactly what I wanted to get done tonight, but those fish structures, they're a money maker for me. So, and I wanted to take care of a customer. So tomorrow night we'll plan on getting this stuff probably loaded up. We have some menace grubs coming, so we can fill that box and get it in the Yak Attack Black Pack. And tomorrow night we're going to definitely need to get things wrapped up, because Thursday night we have pickleball, and then Friday morning we're heading out early. So I did end up getting this ladder. If you guys do go down to Dale Hollow, they don't have the walk planks anymore to get from the boat to shore. The Coast Guard only requires them to get you back in the boat if you fall in the water. So my idea is to set this ladder, the front of the boat would be right here, so you would climb up this ladder and step off to your left to get on the boat. It's about 4 feet from the ground up. What I liked about this ladder, I got to put them on, but there's a handrail that goes on the side about right in there. So that way you got something to hold on to. I'll leave that handrail off, obviously, so you can board the boat, but we got some people that aren't real sturdy on their feet. Got some people that are getting up in age a little bit, so we just want to make sure everybody gets there, gets on and off the boat, and has a good time. We got 4 boats, so we park on shore and people will go down the ladder, visit, go to the campfire, stuff like that. So just want to make sure everybody can get on and off the boat. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight. It's getting late. It's 9:30, so I will check in with you guys tomorrow. We'll get the rest of this. All right guys, well, we got all the rods done. Got them put in their sleeves. Got them packed up. They're going to be riding in the back of the truck. I was potentially going to put those in the pontoon, but looks like we're going to have room, plenty of room. So obviously best for them. We might get some rain. Best for them to ride in the truck. on the way to Tennessee. So let's take these up, put those in the garage, stop by the pontoon, take a look at the kayak. I do have to figure out a way to maybe put a couple bungee cords, ratchet straps, something just to tighten things up inside the pontoon. So let's head up that way. All right, so as you can see, we did get the kayak tucked away in its cover. It did fit in between the seats, with the nose of it being a little narrower down there. We got plenty of room here. We got the black pack on top that's probably right now pushing 60-70 pounds. Also got our tote on there. So what I want to do is find a couple straps, go across it, and go to the seat post here, and I can go to the frame post there. And I think if I open these two seats, I can find something to keep that tote from moving around a whole lot. So I also got to get the Chariot and the 2 tubes, get something over the top of those just for when we go by semis. Got about a 5.5 hour, 6 hour drive. So we're gonna wrap up this segment here. Next time you see me, we will be floating in Dale Hollow Lake, and it should be, hopefully we get out Friday evening before it gets dark. Kind of depends how things go, getting the boats loaded, unloaded, and getting things tied up on shore, but I'm hoping I can at least get out for an hour on Friday evening. But I think we got everything we need. If we don't, we'll figure it out. So hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to a week's worth of fishing on Dale Hollow Lake, and we will see ya on the next one.